One thing to keep in mind, as I mentioned, I got the DRC Drag Race Concepts electronic speed control mount, which puts it above the battery. One thing to keep in mind is if you intend to run a 3S cell, it will not fit down under. So you'd have to take the block out, and then it's going to sit in front of the electronic speed control, which moves the weight slightly forward. And since you're running a 3S, maybe that's a good thing to keep wheelies down. But the electronic speed control mount that Drag Race Concepts offers is really designed for a 2S, so it fits down underneath the mount, whereas your 3S won't. So this is a continuation of my build of my DR10. Finally got a body painted for it, and believe it or not, that is what they call grabber orange. It looks more red to me, but that's fine. Anyways, so this build has become the Winchester house of RC cars for me. If you live in California, you know what the Winchester house is. The old widow Winchester was told by a psychic that if she kept building on the house that she would continue to live. So she built and built and built, and it didn't make any sense what she built. But in any case, I had picked up the Drc Wheelie Bar, and I like it, but there's no adjustment to it other than sliding up and down slightly on the sides here. And I was noticing that one wheel was down farther than the other, and I just could not get it adjusted. So I went over to J Concepts and I picked up this wheelie bar, which has aluminum rods, turnbuckles, and then the ball cups on either end, so you can adjust each side individually and give it a more fine tune adjustment for the wheels. What I had found out with the DRC is that I would lift the front end up slightly, and I would go to spin the wheels. One would spin freely, the other one was making contact, so it wouldn't be spinning. And it was not a ride height issue. My ride height, I measured it and it was dead on, but I just couldn't get this to be level. I'm going to keep this, but I'm probably going to modify it. I'm going to cut the carbon fiber off the sides here, add some ball cups, and kind of duplicate the system that's here. And the J Concepts is a very nice product. You got aluminum rods, you got standard associated ball cups, but the one thing they cheaped out on is they put steel turnbuckles in it, and they bend. So I've got some new titanium turnbuckles on order. They'll be arriving shortly. So what I meant by the Winchester house of builds is I have gone ahead and picked up some additional billet aluminum parts for the rear end. The bulkhead, the plate, and so forth. I had already changed the mounts for the body post because it attaches here at the shock tower. It attaches down on the crankcase or the transmission case here. It also attaches here, which is what the wheelie bar attaches to, and the plastic ones were just so flimsy. They were like this and they moved. I didn't like that, so I picked up some aluminum ones there. So I'm going to tear this down. I'm going to pick up all the parts I've got here. And as I mentioned before, I use these paper bowls. And as I take the parts off, I'm going to put them in the bowls with the screws that go with it. So when I put it back together, I'm not fumbling through, 30 different screws trying to pick the right one. Oh, another thing I picked up was some aluminum hubs for the rear and some aluminum suspension arms. So that'll all be going on here. I'm not going to bore you with screwing all the screws and doing all that nonsense. I'll just give you an update after I get it all back together. Just so you know, the parts I picked up are from Intigy. You can see that's billet machined alloy rear hub on this particular card. I'm not going to bore you with all the parts I got. You can go online, you can check all the parts for the DR10. They ship very quickly. I got these, I mean, they weren't coming from China, although it says made in China. They're shipped locally here, so I got these within probably 5 days from the date of order. And they're reasonably priced. I mean, $29 for a pair of hub carriers. Yeah, it's not bad. Well, it's been about an hour and a half. Take apart the whole rear end and install the new parts. New swing arms, new hubs, new rear plate. There is the new rear suspension bulkhead. As I mentioned, I already had the mounts, body mount supports, which also supports the wheelie bar coming off of the carbon fiber shock tower. So something else I had picked up were these hubs that screw in. So if you take the tire off, they don't come off with the tire, and that pin doesn't fall out and you're looking around trying to find it. So that's worked out very well. And don't know if I've saved any weight necessarily, but I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that was to stiffen up the rear end. It is all aluminum now, and the weak link now is the chassis itself. So hopefully that does not become another part of the Winchester house build. Now we can put some tires back on this, take it out, and do a couple of test hits. One other little trick I did, you can see right in there, there's a little bit of hot melt glue. Took the tires, put them on a spindle, spun them, figured out where the heavy end was, put a little hot glue on the opposite end, and now they run true. Just an easy way to balance the tires, not that they were off by much.